Hey guys, Paul here once again with VHScollector.com, and today we have a topic. Now, of course, the topic is, as suggested by the title on this video, VHS or DVD or Blu-ray or any other latest format. Now, I bring this up because a lot of people think that because I collect VHS or I manage VHScollector.com that I prefer to watch movies on the VHS format. I mean, that's their immediate reaction, because why else would somebody collect VHS? It just seems like a weird thing to a lot of people. I've been asked this in interviews and, in general conversation. And to answer that question, whether I prefer to watch movies on VHS, the answer is hell no. Right? So why collect VHS then? Well, the answer is simple. It's kind of like, the way I approach it is like the rare book collectors, right? You got these guys that collect first edition pressings or printings of books, and they collect them because of their historic value. I mean, if you love the story, that's even a better reason to have a first edition of something. And do you think that they're gonna get rid of that first edition copy just because they could download a digital version of the book on their iPad or something? Hell no, it's a historic artifact. And that's how I see a lot of my VHS tapes. Now, I don't really consider myself, this is gonna sound strange to a lot of people, it's gonna sound maybe blasphemous, I don't really see myself as a VHS collector. I accept that sort of moniker, but I'm really a film collector. I love movies, and a lot of the movies you see behind me, I only bought because they were out of print at the time. Or I've acquired them fairly easily later, but I had a book with a bunch of really weird movie titles and horror movie titles, and I would see really interesting artwork on the internet, and I would say, I gotta get my hands on this. What the hell is that movie? I might have chosen to watch it on DVD at the time if it were available, but they weren't available on DVD, so I had to buy the VHS. And I don't do bootlegs. But yeah, if I had to choose between the VHS, watching a movie on VHS or watching a movie on Blu-ray, well, the answer is obvious, Blu-ray, of course. And that's because I think every movie should be seen in the best possible version out there. And why is that? Why would I prefer to see it that way? That seems like a dumb question to ask, but I guess some people might want to ask that. Why does it matter? Well, it matters because I want to be faithful to the director's vision. Now, when a lot of these movies were made, they were intended for theatrical distribution, right? They were meant to be seen in a theater. Now, these were 35mm prints, which is a rather large resolution. Now, of course, a lot of these movies, they're not playing in theaters unless there's some really small revival showing somewhere, small screening. But otherwise, how else are you gonna replicate that experience? Are you gonna get that from a full-frame VHS tape? Hell no, right? That's crazy. Almost all VHS tapes are in full screen. They cut the sides off on the video because, it would fill those square TV screens. It was only until maybe the late 90s and 2000s where they started to put widescreen presentations on VHS, but most of the movies that I'm talking about, they were all, cut to full screen. So it doesn't make sense to me to prefer to watch a movie that way, because that's not how the director intended. Now, of course, there are exceptions, but 99% of movies out there were not intended to be seen in a grainy, low-res, square image in a television set. It's just not how it's intended to look. I'm a purist in that sense, so I want to see the movie in the best possible version out there. Whether that's DVD or Blu-ray or streaming, that's how I want to see it. And also, when I first saw a movie in HD, and I think the first one I saw was The Wizard of Oz, and my friend had a really large television, and it blew me away. I mean, the detail that popped out of that restoration that they did on The Wizard of Oz was just mind-blowing. It was like watching the movie again for the first time. You started to notice things that you didn't notice before. It was a whole new experience, and I thought to myself, well, if all my favorite movies come out this way, it'll be like watching them again for the first time, and you can notice all these great details. And that's what I love about Blu-ray and watching movies in the best possible version. For instance, some people might know, if you know me in real life, or if you know me from Facebook, I am a huge Doors fan. I don't speak about the Doors too much on this channel. I actually consider making a separate channel just talking about the Doors. Huge fan of them and the music and Jim Morrison and all that stuff. But anyway, when I first saw Friday the 13th Part 3 on Blu-ray, I noticed a door sticker inside the van. It blew me away. It was like two worlds collided. Now, I had never noticed that before, watching it on DVD or watching it on TV. Now, if you looked closely on the DVD or if it was shown on TV, sure, you might make it out now that you know it's there. But I never thought to look for it. But because it was in HD, it popped out and it was so crisp, and I noticed that logo on there. And that was another reason for me to really embrace the HD format. For anyone who's been asking me this, I prefer to watch movies in the best possible version out there, whether it's a theatrical screening, whether it's on Blu-ray, DVD, streaming on Netflix. That's how I prefer to watch movies. Not on VHS. It's low quality. It's not widescreen, so you're not even getting the whole picture. You're just missing a lot of the experience that the director intended. It's just not the ideal situation to watch a movie. And I guess this question sort of came up because people started to buy records again. And I guess they like that aesthetic of the cracks and the pops when they're listening to the music. But I don't feel that's faithful to what the artists intended. When they were making that record, they didn't intend for those pops and cracks to be there. It's crazy. When CD came out, CD was phenomenal. It was a breakthrough, and everybody went out, if they could afford to in the beginning, and bought CDs.
But lately, Frank has neglected the LPs he collected for years and turned to compact discs. Frank has purchased 80 discs already, and he's only 2 months into this new collection. He says the discs sound that good.
It's clean. There's no noise. The only detectable noise you would have is possibly tape hiss from the original recording. Otherwise, you don't have the disturbing surface noise, pops, clicks, distortion.
And just to hear it that crisp and clean was just an amazing experience, and it was exactly what the artists intended. Those pops and cracks aren't supposed to be there. It's just not an authentic experience, whether it's movies or music. That's just how I feel about it. Now, if you want to go down memory lane and you get some kind of nostalgic kick out of listening to a song on a record or watching a movie on VHS on an old tube TV, go for it, but it's not the ideal situation to watch a movie. I know that there are some people out there that would prefer to watch a movie on a VHS, because I know I bring up, hipsters a lot in a sort of snarky type of way, but the truth is that the majority of them are contrarians. So the fact that VHS is obsolete turns them on to VHS even more. The fact that people aren't watching VHS anymore makes them want to watch VHS even more. That's sort of the nature of being a hipster, that they gravitate towards these things that are no longer cool and trendy, and they're so, up with the times that they can make VHS trendy again. That's the kind of ego trip that a lot of hipsters are on. Not all of them, but a lot. I know I look like a hipster to some people, and I'm only wearing this beanie because the truth is that I need a haircut. That's why I've been wearing it a lot in my videos, but normally I don't, really wear a beanie. I just thought I'd put that out there. Because people are probably like, look at this hipster bashing hipsters. What are you? But the truth is no. I don't prefer to watch movies on VHS. That's crazy. I don't prefer to listen to music on records. That's crazy too. I'm not going to say I don't have VHS or records. I do. But it's because of their historic artifacts, I guess. Now, that you could call that pretentious or snobby or whatever. I don't care. That's just the fact. That's just the truth of why I have these things. So, I hope that clears up some things. Now, I'm not going to knock people for watching anything on VHS or listening to a record. I'm sure there's a time and a place for everything. But for me, there's no debate on what the authentic experience is. And that's what the artists intended. And if they did not intend a movie to be seen in full screen, low-res image on a tube TV, then that's really probably not the way you should be watching the artist's work. But if you can get something out of watching a VHS or listening to an LP, if it brings you down memory lane, then go for it, I guess. I mean, if you want to do that, it's your prerogative. But yeah, so I'd love to do more of these topic videos. I still want to do the history videos, and you know what? I've been slacking on them because I did write a lot of stuff regarding the history of home video, and I wanted to turn a lot of these into articles for the website, the launch of the new website, because I did a lot of extensive research, which is really interesting. A lot of the stuff that aren't in all these so-called VHS documentaries that popped up over the past 5 or 10 years. These people seem to really miss a lot of the really awesome and interesting history in the field of home video. A lot of these documentaries are about VHS. Home video is not about just VHS. How are you missing that? Home video is Laserdisc, Betamax, Cartridge. You could even go to Castle Films when they had the Super 8 movies or those 16mm films and it would project them. Technically not a video format, but still. These guys were the real pioneers of home video. And this was, 50s or 40s. And they're missing all of that. So this has been Paul, the Analog Archivist with VHScollector.com. Look out for more reviews and maybe some more topic videos and eventually the history videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.